Hey, Assalamu alaikum, bro. How you doing?
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Doing well, bro. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. So when we're recording, it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you
Uh,
as
how
well.
how was it? How did it go?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It was good. It was good. And then, how about yourself?
Yeah, it went well. Pretty much just doing stuff around the house, spending time with Nile, and yeah. But anyway, it's been a while since we got a chance to do this, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited that we're back on this. And this time around, we do have a guest. So inshallah,
Yes,
it's like
one of the oldest
again.
fathers in the group.
Yeah, one of the eldest fathers. Yes, mashallah. Lots of ways we can, go about introducing our guest here, but inshallah, we'll just have him join us because man of many names. Sir, will you please
Yes, and
reveal yourself?
actually,
Uh-huh.
hold on. Not necessarily oldest father, but he's been a father for the longest
For the
within the
longest,
group.
yes, that's yes, yes, yeah.
Yes,
One of the
that's
first.
more of the right
One of the
terminology.
first, yes, inshallah.
Yes, one of the first fathers.
So
That
without
makes more
further
sense.
ado, sir, will you please bless us with your presence?
MashaAllah.
Assalamualaikum.
Hey, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. That was a great intro. I love the correction.
Yeah, we
I
wanted to
was
make
like,
sure we're
yes.
not offending you. Yeah. How
You
are
can't
you,
put me
sir?
in Ajmal's category, man. Like, no, just
He's like, you're
kidding. Shut
making me
up,
a
Ajmal.
grandpa already.
Oh man. How's
Oh
it
my
going,
God.
man?
No, man. The grind never stops. Today, probably one of the first official days off I actually had in a long time.
Oh
So
yeah?
that,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, so it's like a day and night type thing for me. Starts in the morning and then ends at night, and nighttime and morning time is like sunrise sunset for the summer. So
Wow.
Wow.
What keeps you
uh,
busy?
well, between work, I have my current house still like slowly doing renovations ever since I moved in here. And then I have a side business that I started, um,
Wow.
construction and renovations. So right now, I have another property that I'm flipping, and I have a few clients that have been trying to get us to do their renovations as well. It's just there's no time to get,
Wow.
just
MashaAllah. Got a lot of
that's
initiatives
the
going there.
intense. Yeah, I mean, you got a foot in a lot of different boats, and
Yeah.
yeah, the pressure's on.
I
So
bet,
Man.
man.
yeah.
How do you
How did that start? Like, how
yeah.
did you decide to open up another business and start doing renovations? I mean, we all know you were good at it, but what made you, okay, I'm gonna take that plunge and do this
Um,
now?
so honest, for the longest time, I think it's more the pressure of how much demand is out there. It wasn't something that I decided overnight. It was something that kept pushing me in that direction. And to be honest, the only thing that held me back was the fear of one, failure, and two was whether I should like pursue this as a long-term thing or a side thing, considering that I went to school, for engineering, and I have a great job that I really love, right? Um, and the structural engineering design aspect, 3D modeling, and solving industrial problems. Should I continue that route, or should I do my own thing because there's money there, and on the other hand, I mean, they're both fun. It's just a conflict, right? Internal
Mhm.
conflict. You can only carry so much, and I'm feeling that now. Carrying a full-time job and trying to do the side thing, which is slowly turning into a full-time thing. So I don't know. It's those are the things that held me back, and again, like little things kept pushing me in that direction. One was the demand of how rare it is to find a good contractor. How much uh, Canada as a whole is literally dying for skilled trades. There's just a very small pool of people that are going towards that industry because of the demonization of, where a person who walks along the street and, there's a guy building a fence or something, and the father says to his son, don't do that when you get older because it's not looked as like a
Right.
good thing. But that this guy's a skilled guy, like nobody else can do it, and it pays a lot. Yeah, it's a bit laborious, but at least it brings you at least a salary of a white collar job, and sometimes even
Yeah.
more. So, but yeah, that stigma, and then everybody's kind of a lot of my friends and even Jai Shy guys, family members are just like, we can't find contractors, we can't
Mhm.
find honest contractors, even the dishonest ones, like we can't even get those guys. It's crazy, and I'm just like, well, I have a full-time job, so I can't really help you. I'll help you as much as I can. I will forward contacts to you built based on all the contacts that I've accumulated throughout the years of construction experience and exposure. But even then, you can't be 100% sure. So yeah, the pressure from peers, family members, society, just the demand is pushing me in that direction. Um, and the even for structural engineering, like there's a lot of engineers out there. There's a lot of engineers that don't have jobs. So
Wow.
being grateful that I actually landed a job in the field that I actually went to school for, it's it's a good grab, right? So leaving that for something that's unknown. Again, I have a family that I have to support as well, right? Two kids, alhamdulillah, wife, and the homes, and just the rising cost of living. So it's just the fear of potentially failing and whatnot that kind of kept me on the sidelines, and then slowly just kind of pushed in that direction. So that's
Man, I remember years ago before you went back to university, you had a good job at Forest Construction. And I
yeah,
remember you telling me, you're like, man, I got accepted to university for engineering. Do I stay in my current job? I'm doing well over here, or should I go back, take that risk, um, and hopefully, inshallah, when I graduate, I get an engineering job. And mashallah, I mean, like, look where you are at now. These years later, it paid off, right? Like, you
yeah,
took that grind, um, and what, you've done two house flips now, and
yeah,
how much, like, mashallah, I mean, it's crazy, like how the years have gone by, the skills you've learned, and the journey you've been through just to get where you are right now. Um,
yeah, man.
it's inspiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah. It's
It's a big deal. Don't sell yourself short, man, because being
I
able to
mean,
manage
I'm
that. No, honestly, but to Zishan's point, I was about to say the same thing because think about it, right? Like you managed that and you told yourself, yeah, I'm gonna go back to school, and mashallah, you did. I'm sure it wasn't an easy grind. Obviously, this at this point in your life, you already had a child, right? You had Rumesa, and I'm sure, your wife's support played a big role in that too. But then, mashallah, look at where like things kind of worked out, right? And just to add, like what I was trying to add to Zishan's thing was that I would say go for it, man. Like, I know the fear is always there, but like he said, you had that fear when you were talking about going back to school, and it paid off too. So, obviously, and you're a smart guy. You won't just leave your job and start going, but like you will keep pushing this side gig until it becomes your main gig, right? And if you enjoy
yeah,
it, I don't see why not, man. Because it's funny because people tell me something similar too, and I'm afraid of the same thing. But you're actually doing it, bro. Like you're there in the fields. You're trying to do the house thing. You're trying to do the construction business, and obviously you're a full-time job. So mashallah, like, and honestly, hats off to you, man. That stuff, like you're already doing it is really awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
alhamdulillah.
that would the CST going full time or
You know what? One day, if it monetizes, you never know, right? But for now,
The
this is just
the
a
last
fun,
video
one
has
of.
56 views, you know? That's
Hey,
kind of
oh
crazy.
that's.
man,
I don't know.
I was like, how
I'll
many
have to check
members
the
of Jai
stats.
Shai do we have? Like, where are these 56 people coming
That's
from?
a good point.
we're
That's a good
viral,
point.
bro.
Someone somewhere is sharing it. I don't know. But that's how these are. They're humble beginnings, and it's like a thing. I'm sure when you started your business, you didn't necessarily say, "Oh, I'm going to make money off this." So like, hey, no. like you said, you identified a gap. You identified that, hey, there's a lack of skilled trade, and hey, how can I contribute and how can I make this a better place, right? And that's all any of us can do, right? Like when I'm looking at it, like, before we made stupid funny videos, I thought about that. Don't get me wrong. I thought about expanding that too. It didn't work out, but that's okay, right? Like I know the interest is there. And then we started this. Let's see how long this thing goes, right? But more so, even related to career, like I get those thoughts too. Hey, should I just open my own consulting thing? And I think I've talked to a bunch of Chai Chai folks, and I'm sure I've talked to you guys about it too. So but like to actually do it and to maintain a sanity,
Mhm.
that takes a lot more, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I'm afraid of, to be honest. I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up. Something will get sacrificed, right? Like sleep,
Absolutely.
health, family, or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And and really, you have to make a choice, right? I think. What are your thoughts? Like, how would you say you dealt with or are dealing with those challenges where you feel like,
Um,
you have your 24 hours and then you're splitting it up. So,
yeah, I mean, the only thing that really is, it's definitely a balancing act. And there are aspects that suffer, some of them temporarily. It's more about which one is okay to suffer a little bit, and then you get back to it, right? So, you know, last few days, last 3 or 4 days, I think I barely saw my son, you know,
mhm,
and but sometimes before that, I barely was at the house flip, and I was relying on guys to work there, and um, maybe certain mistakes were made that I wasn't able to catch,
yeah,
right? So there's always a sacrifice somewhere. Like with this house, for example, when I took the flip on, I was slowly doing things, right? So with this house, I renovated the kitchen, the main floor. Um, I opened up a side entrance going into the foundation, renovated the floor. So all that was just kind of a slow process, and it's been a year, and still not done yet. So that that's also considered a sacrifice where your house is still not
yeah,
ready.
yeah, no,
Um,
makes sense.
and family is obviously in a situation where they're always hearing construction or feeling the construction, and um, so yeah, like families getting sacrificed. There's work is also being sacrificed. So it's just about which ones can take it, and then which ones you have to accept. I I I would probably try not to jump into so many things at once, looking back at it. But at the same time, you miss out on opportunities, right? So, for example, if I didn't take this flip on, right,
Hmm.
when would I do it? I'd
Yeah,
have to finish this place, and then after this place would be done, then move on to the next. But with the housing, market the way it is, you may miss out. And if you miss
yeah,
out, then that could be the spark that you miss before you hit the takeoff button. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
um, it really took a lot of thought, a lot of planning, and even with all the planning and all the budgets and all the estimates, all the showings, all the viewings, like we're still not going according to plan, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So you just you kind of have to leave it up to Allah at a certain point and just pray that you don't lose too much
yeah.
through the
It's a leap
process.
of faith, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
leap of
I
faith
hope
for
I
sure.
hope. Sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, though.
I was gonna say, I just
No,
wanted to
no.
say, I hope you got to spend some time today with the kids, it being Father's Day and whatnot. But I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, we're
definitely.
we're not saying that it's just a 1 day thing, and the rest of the year it's like whatever, right?
Yeah,
But I really hope you do get it. You do get a chance to spend some time with the kids.
yeah, yeah. Today I was just with Fires all day. Um, my my in-laws took my daughter to the goat farm. Um, and I don't know, Zishan, you probably saw the Chai message. So, um, father-in-law started his side thing, I guess, with goats. So he's made some contacts within the Hamilton community, outside where the
Hmm.
farmlands are, with some farmers, and they have a local butcher, and he's got his license to slaughter animals like Halalway and stuff, right? So he
Okay.
went through all the inspectors and the meetings and the training and stuff, and now he's going that route, and he's asked me to give him a
Nice.
hand. So uh, with that, it's another side thing.
Yeah, no,
That's all good.
definitely.
Yeah.
And
Right?
Jai
Yeah,
Shai guys, you guys are looking for, I think Moise mentioned it, right? The Kurbani goats, if you're
yeah,
looking for it and you want to do
yeah.
something local. Again, we're here to help support, right? Or like you said people reach out to you for help with renovations or, pointers or hey Moise, it's the same thing, guys, we have an option here. If you're
Hmm.
comfortable, if you're looking for this, give it a shot, right? And if anything, we
Yep.
could like if people do it and they don't like it or they could give feedback, say, hey, you know what, maybe maybe different source next time, or hey, there was, or it can work out, right? And be like, oh my God, like it,
Yeah,
it worked out for us, inshallah. So yeah,
yeah,
no worries. You can mention that, man. No worries.
yeah. So anyways, yeah. My daughter went there to the goat farm, and there's little baby goats. Your kids can play with them. It's really nice. Yeah. So my daughter was there, and I spent most of the day with my son while my wife and her sisters were preparing for Father's Day surprise.
Aw,
And so it was nice. Took him to the park, played with him at home, um, went out to our backyard. Uh, yeah, it was pretty cool. So I watched a little bit of
yeah,
Justice League with him.
Which still was on
of
TNT,
course.
right?
Is
It was
it
on TV?
IPTV? No, it was IPTV.
IPTV.
So
Yeah, oh, okay.
yeah,
I was watching it on IPTV as well, but it was on like regular cable, like TN. I
oh,
think it was
okay.
on TNT,
The
but it was
Snyder
the
Cut?
original, so not the
Oh,
Snyder Cut.
okay.
So as soon as I saw Steppenwolf, I was like, forget, like change channel, like forget this garbage. What is this?
Yeah,
Oh man, what were your thoughts on the Snyder Cut?
it was really good, man. I liked it a lot. Um,
Wait, so
definitely.
let me pause you. Let me pause you first, actually. Before we get to the Snyder Cut, what was your thoughts on the original Justice League? And then we'll get to the Snyder Cut.
And by the way, if anybody hasn't seen it, too late.
Too bad.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about
Yeah,
it.
spoiler alert. So,
Yeah, spoiler.
I think the original Justice League. Look, I didn't think it was because I have kind of a biased opinion. I like all things DC Justice League, right?
Right,
Um,
right. You do, yes.
uh, so any movie, anybody that puts money into a movie and it's semi decent, I'm gonna like it. If you see Superman in there beating up a guy, I'm gonna like it. Like
Okay.
it's just
Yeah.
this is how it
And
is
did
for
you
me.
see
But
Superman beating up a guy? He was there for 2 minutes beating up a guy, maybe a minute.
I think
yeah,
that's what
1 minute.
that's what he
What
liked, and
minute's
he's like,
worth
"That's
it?
it. Movie's
One
good."
minute of CGI. That's it, man. That's all I need.
And what about his jaw? Was that even Superman?
Oh my
You know what's
God.
funny is I'm like this is how bad my bias is. I saw it in theaters and I noticed it, right? And I was just like, something's weird. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I was like, okay. I didn't look into it because I was just like, it's Superman. He's
You know
there.
what? The funny thing is, when I walked into the theater and I watched it, and I was like, and because the original one, the one with Whedon, right, Joss Whedon, it starts off and it just the first thing you see is Superman's face and everything, and he's talking about, oh, it's an S, it's like it flows like a river, and I was just like, I could not, the words I could hear, but there was, I'm just like, what the heck is wrong
I
with
was
his
so
face?
confused.
What is wrong? There's something wrong with his face. And I had no idea about that whole CGI issue with Paramount and
Same
everything, right?
here.
And I was just like,
Yeah, I didn't.
Same
like
here.
after the movie ended and I was home, I was searching and I was like, what? No wonder his face looked weird the whole movie. It was
Yeah,
just, oh
man.
my God. It was just,
But like that first scene, the way they had it wasn't even the regular. The first scene was them showing you a video, right?
yes.
So it was. So I thought they're making a like it's a guy who's supposed to look like Superman, and it's a
Yeah,
video of
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
It's like a
So
doppelganger
I
or
was like,
something. Yeah.
okay, that's what I thought. I thought, okay, yeah, they're just explaining, Superman because he's dead, and
Right,
they're just trying
right.
to like maybe
Yeah, yeah,
recreate the
yeah.
story. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, sorry, some ways, yeah, you love Justice League. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously the Snyder Cut like pretty much blew everything the Justice League had away. I don't even consider that part of the Justice League universe anymore.
Yeah,
Like the Whedon movie, I'm just
agreed.
like, okay, that
Agreed.
is completely omitted now.
I don't know if you
Um,
want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to like dig into this, guys, because I swear I felt like the original movie was so choppy. Like in this, they
Yeah,
actually
so
explained, like
choppy.
the Wonder Woman
Mhm.
stuff was explained, Flash's background was like so many things were explained, and I'm like, I stand by,
Steppenwolf was explained.
yeah, yeah, and I stand
Yeah.
by what I said when I first saw the 2017 Justice League is that it was rushed. Okay, I get it. They wanted to cash it in. They saw Infinity War was coming in 2018, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta release a good big bat." I'm like, "Listen, guys, you missed the train. That's okay, but you just blew it, like by just forcing that
Yeah.
movie." Because I would tell you, Batman vs Superman, the whole Martha thing. Okay, Man of Steel, I actually liked, by the way. I actually liked Man of
I
Steel a
loved it.
lot.
I
Yeah.
love Man of Steel.
And it's like one of those, really well done movies, and I get it. Some people had a love-hate thing, and I'm like, no, it spoke to Superman's humanity. The fact that when he literally snaps Zod's neck, he's screaming, right? It's like there was so much there, and Batman vs Superman, the fight was still pretty good. Again, the Martha thing could have been done better. Sorry, I like DC as well. I'm not hardcore on it, but I like it. But I'm like, guys, you had the perfect recipe. You didn't have to beat Marvel. You already beaten by them in terms of the race on how fast the movies came out, right? But you could take your time. You could have built it up. You could have used something, right? Like there was so many different ways you could have done this. Like why did you rush it?
Mhm.
Why did you go from 2013? Okay, you have one movie, then you have 2016, you have your second movie, and then 2014, I believe they released Suicide Squad. It has nothing to do with the rest of the group. And then we got,
Mhm.
sorry, we got, no, we got 2013 Man of Steel. We got 2014, or was it 2015 when we got the Suicide Squad or something? Then we got Man of Steel, oh, sorry, Batman vs Superman. And then what? Like we got Wonder Woman, and then we switched to Justice League, right? Something like that, if I'm not mistaken. What I'm saying is that there
So we
was
have
like handful of movies. My problem was that they weren't. Anyway, I'll let Moise talk about this. But Moise, what do you think? Do you think they rushed it because they could have really hashed it out much, much better?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would. I don't know why they went right from. There's so much things like this. Like you have a solid Superman movie. You introduce some of your other characters, right? Like maybe a Wonder Woman movie after that, or the Batman movie. Um, I don't really know how they tie things together. Maybe carry over the Christopher Nolan version and call
Anything.
it a multiverse or something. I don't know. They could have done so many things. Make a Flash movie, and then after that, if you want a Batman v Superman type thing to kind of set up your Civil War-esque plot, right? Um, which creates the big bad guy, right? That comes in because your squad is split up, right? Superman's dead, etc. Like that, you're
hmm
missing a big body. You go from like the introduction to the conclusion, and the body is missing.
Yep. There's no
Oh
substance in
yeah.
the
You know?
middle. Yeah.
Every,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was even yeah within Justice League it's chopped up.
Mhm.
From Batman versus Superman to Justice League is messed up. They just messed up the whole plot. I
Mhm.
mean, you have at the end of Batman versus Superman, Superman's alive. Don't No one should try to deny that. Superman
Mhm.
is alive at the end of
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman.
And then they
I don't know
scrap it.
why they put that scene
And
in
then
there.
scrap it in Justice
Mhm.
League. I was
And
like,
and they
oh gosh.
scrap that in Justice League. Not only that, in Batman versus Superman, you have everyone wondering, is Superman a good guy? Should we like him? I don't know. And then in the beginning of Justice League, it's like he
Everyone's mourning.
was,
He was a
Yeah.
yeah, everyone,
messiah,
the
right?
whole
Like
Yeah.
everyone's
world.
Yeah.
crying. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, okay, so that's one of the things. Like, now that you're pointing that out, right? I'm actually seeing it now. But before, because of like I have DC bias, I
Yeah.
don't see these
Uh-huh.
things, right? So
Mind you,
for
we're
me,
not
it's
we're not saying that Marvel's got its own issues, right? But
uh,
like if you look at DC, I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, you could use the propaganda side for Marvel so much. You say, oh, you see Superman always, doing all this, but they could take the whole piece of, but yeah, but he is literally indestructible. If he turns evil, and they started with that, it was amazing. And then
mhm,
somewhere it was about Martha. Like, why didn't that continue? Why did you not? Why weren't people on the streets? Yeah, he died. Okay, we get it. We were upset, but like, there's other beings like him, right? And then out of nowhere in the
hmm
Snyder Cut, you introduce Martian Manhunter, and I was like, okay, like where, you're
you know,
putting too many
it would have been
things.
really good. It would have been sorry to cut you off. It would have been
No,
really
no.
good. Say if Batman actually injured Superman, right? Say
Hmm.
he injured Superman, but then Doom came, right?
Yeah,
Doomsday.
and
Oh,
Doomsday,
Doomsday, yeah, yeah.
and he Superman died as a result of Batman injuring him, right? With with his kryptonite spear or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Excuse me.
Um, which would kind of like your Martha event would be gone, right? Because during their fight, Doomsday would come in and kind of
Yeah.
create the make the
Yep.
two enemies friends because that is a
Right.
bigger enemy, right?
Like
Like that would have been
And
Right.
a
yeah,
way better transition.
you know what?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Now that you bring it, because you could, like, Superman could be like, listen, I know you brought that spear to kill me, but it's gonna kill him too. So let's tackle this problem first, and then you and I will
Hmm.
talk, right? Like it could
Yeah,
have been. It felt like, it wasn't done by a professional. It was done by like
right.
some
Yeah.
guy,
And during that
some fan
fight,
writing. Yeah.
Batman could have seen the humanity of Superman. They could have seen Superman saving innocent lives,
People. Yeah.
putting himself in the way of
Or
people, and Batman could have seen that, right? And been like,
even pulling
I
his
shouldn't be killing
punches.
this guy.
Even
Yeah,
pulling his punches. He wasn't trying to hurt Bruce at all. He was like, "Listen,
yeah.
I'm here to talk to you. I've got other
Hmm.
problems to deal with. Blah blah blah." I'll tell
Right.
you what my gripe is. Okay, to take for example, and again, horrible example. You're not gonna like it, but Thanos. Okay, if you see his comic
Let's
book
stop.
Thanos, he's stupid. No, let me tell
Hmm.
you. Let me tell
Is
you
he?
why.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
What is Thanos' stance in the comics? He wants to collect the Infinity Stones or Infinity Gems, sometimes
Yeah.
as they're referred to in the comics. His whole
Hmm.
stance is that he wants to impress Mistress Death, which is like an entity, right? Like eternity
Hmm.
and the universe, whatever. So Mistress Death is just an entity, and he's like, you know what? I'm in love with her. I want to impress her. So you know what? Just as a token of my love for you, I'm gonna wipe out half of life. And she still rejects him, by the way. Okay. Now, when they introduced him in 2012, right? People were like, "Yo, so what is it gonna be?" Because with that line with the other, the guy who
Hmm.
gives Loki the staff, right? He says, to wait, what did he say? He says
To
something
challenge
about
them is to court
to
them.
challenge them is to court death. There you go. I knew the to court death part. I couldn't remember the first part. So he's like to challenge the humans. The humans, they're unruly, and therefore they cannot be ruled. To challenge them is to court death. So it was heavily implied that we're talking about, again, he's going to try to impress Mistress Death. I love that they changed that. Thank God they changed that. Because think about it. How silly would it be where a guy comes on, he's like, "Oh, I'm collecting these stones because, it's out of love or
I want
some
to impress
stupid
the girl.
reason."
Yeah.
Best part about the Infinity War trailer was that he says, fun isn't something, you consider when you're balancing the universe, but this does put a smile on my face. And that really set the bar that this Thanos is not joking around. He ain't in love or anything. No, this man is out on a mission, a very flawed mission. But
Hmm.
what I'm trying to say is that they brought reality to it, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Reality
Yeah.
stones.
That's good. That's a good one. No, like what I'm saying is that you could relate to it. They talk a basically a simple concept of
Hashtag
overpopulation.
paperweights. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, have you seen Loki, Moise? Have you seen
No, I haven't
Loki?
had a chance to start
Okay,
that yet.
so come
I
on.
won't say
I've
anything
been
else
busy
then.
with
That's it.
Attack
You need
on
to
Titan.
watch that. You'll understand what we mean. You should watch
Okay.
the Loki show as well. It's a really well done show. But it's like it's what I'm trying to say is that if you look out throughout Marvel Universe, they took some silly conflicts, silly like storylines, and they actually turned it really sometimes political. Sometimes they went for the philosophical side, right? And I really like that because they have multiple themes that they have explored in their stories. And anyway, DC has like I was gonna say I was talking to Zishan one time. They could just pick up the animated stuff, man, like the DC
They
animated stuff, and
can.
just make that into live
Animated stuff is
action.
amazing. No.
They have so much potential, but anyway, it's
Hmm.
not. It's the executives at Warner Brothers, right?
Hmm.
They they're money greedy and rushing things too fast, and um, we got gypped. The consumers
Oh
got
my
gypped, right?
goodness. Oh my goodness. Just
Okay, so have you heard what's going on with the new Batman and the like where and like
oh,
uh
don't even get me
the
started on
Rock, the
that.
Rock and so like I have no idea what's happening right now. Like
None of them are
where are we going
connected.
with this? Huh?
So we got Robert Pattinson who's playing a younger Batman. Okay.
Hmm.
We
Which will
got
be sick. He's a good actor.
I feel like again this is it's a disconnected movie. Joker movie was disconnected.
Oh
We
yeah.
got we're getting a Black Adam movie where The Rock is playing the Black Adam, and somehow that's supposed to tie into hopefully Shazam because they're rivals, right? Shazam and Black Adam. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, but where is your cinematic universe that you were talking about? Where are we? The Flashpoint
Well,
movie is still being made, I
Superman,
think.
Superman without a head appeared in Shazam, so
Oh,
apparently that's all tied
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so is that before he died in Batman vs Superman or after?
Oh man, good question actually. Or is that after Justice League or is that after Snyder Cut?
Hmm. Then if it's
Uh,
after Schneider Cut, is it why isn't it a black suit though?
oh man.
Oh my God. Like
Oh
guys,
man. I don't know.
I take no like, pleasure in ripping this with DC and everything, guys, but I'm just upset, man, because
I know.
I
I know.
love, by the way, I love Batflick as people call it, right? The
Yep, same here.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck Batman was so good. It was reminding me of that Arkham games, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so well done, and wow, what a waste, man. And by the
Yeah.
way, again,
Waste
the
youth, man. Waste youth.
waste youth, yeah. The trailer for the Robert Pattinson, or they call him now. This is being called Battinson. That Batman, it looks really good. By the movie looks good. It looks, I think it's got the right tone
Looks
and
dark.
everything. Right, it looks
Yeah.
dark. That's all fine, but I was really hoping for the Ben Affleck one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless maybe this guy turns into the Ben Affleck Batman. Who knows? I
I think
don't
that's
know.
it, though. I think they've
Uh,
severed ties, and even with Henry Cavill, people were saying something about that Cavill is not going to be in Superman anymore. I don't know. There's so many rumors that it's really hard to like pinpoint.
so so okay, so Moise, I'll give you 2 minutes to talk about Snyder Cut. What did you like? What did you like?
Can we not talk about that?
Um,
Sorry. No, no, go for it.
okay.
I really want
What I
to
liked
hear. I want to hear your
what I
thoughts.
liked was there's way more depth. I loved the scenery. Um, like you
Did you
have
say
so
way
much
more?
more
Sorry,
explanation.
I'm just clarifying. Did you say way more death or depth?
Depth,
Depth.
depth,
Okay.
depth.
Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just heard
Yeah.
way more death, and I was like, whoa. Okay, go on. Tiff, sorry.
No, so, yeah. So there's a lot
Hmm.
more depth, um, more explanation. Like you figured out what was going on with shoot, I'm forgetting the name.
Steppenwolf.
Darkseid, Darkseid and
Oh
Steppenwolf.
no,
Oh,
oh no,
Cyborg.
Robot, Cyborg. Shoot,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot
DC
more
fan over
Cyborg
here, guys.
Yeah.
explanation. Um, I like the okay. So one of my favorite parts in both movies was the Justice League versus Superman. Um,
Yes.
right. So
Yes.
I like how that part is more extended. There's a little bit more fight in there.
Yep.
Um, there isn't that cheesy "do you bleed"
Yes,
thing.
I was just gonna say, oh my God, I was so happy that wasn't there because
Yeah,
it really ruined that. It really ruined that fight, by the way. Yeah,
yeah,
something's definitely bleeding.
it
I
did.
get it.
Which
They were trying to
part?
be funny. The one where Batman
What
falls and
was
he
it?
says, "Yeah, something is definitely bleeding," right?
Yeah,
Like in the original cut.
Oh,
right,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Right.
but all that
right. And
never
I'm just like,
happens. Yeah.
I totally just like Rose is like, wait a second. So he remembers, and he's still like
And
trying to
super
beat the
still
guy
beat them
up.
up.
Like
Yeah.
what?
Oh,
Ah,
oh, you know what I liked that I wish was better explained was the fact that that scene of the Flash from Batman vs Superman was talking about
yeah.
this time. Lois Lane, she's the
Right.
key.
The top. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
No, no. He's
I
not
don't
talking
think he's
about
talking
that.
about this. He's
Well, there's
talking about
two.
the
There's
epilogue, the end of the movie.
yeah, at the end of the end.
Yeah.
I personally feel like it's two-sided where it confirms Bruce's suspicions that
Yeah.
Lois Lane is the only one that can really control him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
mean, we may never get that epilogue, but
yeah.
he just put it in there um, just to show what could have been. Um,
hmm I like
I
the
don't think,
nightmare sequence at the end. That was
yeah,
good too.
With the Joker and everyone.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
But I
was really
love,
cool to see.
I loved when Superman unleashed on Steppenwolf, and he was just
Yeah, it was like
having no mercy
it
on
was
him.
like yeah, and it was like
Yeah,
a easy for him. Question for you,
yeah.
Moise.
Mhm.
if we were to, I mean, just a fan theory, right? Like you could theorize whatever. Like how, for example, and I don't think anybody would have come up could have come up with what they did with Thanos, right? Like the balancing universe and all that, right? But
Mhm.
if we were to take, let's say, our friend Darkseid and his, what is it, what equation? What is it called again?
Anti-life
Anti-life,
equation.
Anti-life
anti-life
equation.
equation. Yeah.
How would you say, um, if we were to take it into our side, like if you had, let's say, Warner Brothers, they came to their senses and they said, fan theories. How would you guys like to, portray Darkseid for the pursuit for the anti-life equation and whatever? How would you want it to come on screen?
Um, so a couple of things with the anti-life equation is there was a few plot holes that I don't know, maybe you know something that I don't, but the fact that Steppenwolf found the anti-life equation on
Hmm.
Earth, but Darkseid already came to Earth for the anti-life equation, and then just there's a huge time gap after that. And then all of a sudden Steppenwolf finds it and says the anti-life equation's here, and Darkseid's like, "Oh,
I
I
totally
wasn't
forgot about
aware of
that.
this," right? Like what? So like what? Okay, so that has to get cleaned up
Okay.
somehow. I don't know how the heck that's
I,
gonna
I, I
happen, but
think the way I perceive that is he came, he didn't
Mhm.
get to look for it yet. He came looking on Earth. Their guardians at that time, right? The
Mhm.
old gods or the new gods, whoever they were, fought
Yeah.
him away. So he left
Mhm.
and he never came back because he knows that they have a defense system.
Yeah.
But Steppenwolf being here, Steppenwolf
Mhm.
has to give him like how many thousands of worlds, right? That was his
Yeah.
punishment for whatever he did.
Right.
And I'm assuming he comes and then he finds it. Somehow he finds it. I don't know how he finds it, but
But do we
that's the
know
only
how
thing
they
I can
find
think
it?
of.
Like, how is
No,
it?
but,
I
like
can't remember. Was anything represented? I mean, mother boxes are just that. Like, you need them
He
and
just
the
has a
anti-life
vision.
equation, right?
yeah. I don't know, but I would think that a person who is like first you have like resources that you have to put in, right? So
Mhm.
he sends an entire army to Earth expecting no resistance to search for something, right? So
Yeah,
wouldn't you send like some scouts first to see if there's some potential there, and then if they
Right.
have some resistance, then you bring your army? Like, it's just so out of sequence. Like that has to get cleaned up somehow. Has to get explained better. Darkseid's thing for the anti-life equation should be no different than a company trying to gain profit. You know, like
right. Yeah.
you, like that's kind of what he is, right? He wants to get something that's going to make himself more powerful. Um, his clear cut goal is to dominate worlds. Maybe he's a they pitch him as a planet seller or something, or
Yeah.
just like a conqueror. Like there's that what's that one DC Kang, Kang the Conqueror? Is that him?
That's on Marvel
Hmm.
side. That's on
That's a,
Marvel.
no.
That's Marvel.
There's another Conqueror.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm
That
forgetting
that
his name on the DC side, right? Yeah.
yeah, on the DC side. So maybe like kind of parallel the Conqueror to him. So he's more like an Alexander the Dark instead of Alexander the Great. It's just
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
conquer as many planets as he can. In
Yeah,
order for him to
like
conquer,
Dormammu.
yeah, in order for him to
Yeah.
achieve that goal, he needs an anti-life equation to fight the Green Lantern Corps, to fight all the different super powered people that are out in the universe, right?
The
Um,
old
what
gods, the
what
new
gives him
gods.
what gives him the edge? This will give me the edge to conquer everybody. This
Right.
anti-life equation, right?
Right.
So that gives him the motivation to send scouts to all these different places. Steppenwolf would be a scout, comes to planet Earth. He finds it with the mother boxes, gets his ass kicked, and then Darkseid brings his army, right,
I'll
to
do
get
you
the
one
Yeah,
anti-life
that
better.
makes
equation.
sense.
I'll do you one better.
Hmm.
He
Sure.
wants to everybody to be part of his kingdom, quote unquote, because he feels that he's saving them from themselves. Where he's
Yes, that's
really
his
like
vision
bringing,
though.
he's bringing order to their lives because
That,
they're always,
that's yeah, but that's exactly what it is in the comics too, right? He wants the anti-life equation. That what that does is it kind of brainwashes everyone, and it just brings you onto like you are their
yeah,
like leader, right? You
Hmm.
will follow him no matter what. That's what
right.
the anti-life equation does.
Hmm.
But Anyway, like they have potential. The Snyder Cut did a good job with introducing Darkseid. He looked awesome. Um, Granny Goodness looked good. Um, what was the other people? Steppenwolf looked amazing compared to
The new one, yeah, the
original.
new one, yeah,
Hmm.
was much better.
And the other one, I can't remember the other guy. Anyway, really good setup. Things that I didn't like about the movie, Wonder Woman's theme song playing every single time she came on screen. Overdid it
That
with
was
the slow
annoying.
motion. Yeah,
Yes.
like I think
Oh
they
my
added half an
God.
hour with the slow motion.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
Definitely
I don't know
overdid that.
why.
yeah.
Um,
It
and
was
one
cool
thing
in
that I
300.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But he did it like the right amount of times there, but this was just like over the top slow motion every
Hmm.
single time. And thing that I liked, but then I also wish they extended it more is when, hashtag spoiler alert, when they fail in the Snyder Cut and they don't get to, save the world, and then Flash has to go back in time.
Hmm.
I wish they had showed it more that they failed and it's like, everyone died and blah blah blah. And then the Flash is like, let us see like a 5 minutes of that world and then let him go back
Hmm.
and I didn't get to feel that loss.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I
that's a
had
good
to
point.
like, oh, wait, yeah, but still, I like that route they went. It was great. The ending fight was great. Focusing on Cyborg was great. I mean, the Snyder cut, let's not even consider
Yeah.
the Whedon cut anymore.
I like that scene actually because as Flash was running back in time, it's very interesting. You wouldn't really say if he was running back to time. It was more like he was reversing the events. Like I like that presentation. It was basically him as he was putting his foot down, things were coming together. So yes, he's going back in time, but you were seeing a rewind, if you could say, right? Like you could
Yes,
literally see people who were
yes,
pulled apart come back, like assemble back, right?
right,
What I didn't like about that
right.
scene that the only thing I personally would change was the dialogue just before he does that. Okay, you know what, Barry, you can travel faster, you gotta do this. Like I feel like that could have been better. Could have been like, I like something about his father, maybe like in a better wording, maybe like what, oh, my like dad, I won't let you down, or something like that. And then he starts bolting, right? And through this time, I would want a flashback of his mom because he would think about that, right? He has to be thinking about that as he's running back, and then it gives you a nice little setup for Flashpoint as well. Because then
Yeah,
he's
but the
like,
mom
hey,
was going to play a big role in the next movie because it's
is that
tricky
still
when you
happening?
bring in the mom.
Is it still
Oh
happening?
yeah, it's still happening. They have
Have been
Flash.
shooting?
She's going to
Okay.
be in there. They're gonna have Supergirl in there as well. They're gonna have I'm pretty sure they're gonna have some sort of Batman. I think they're gonna have Michael Keaton's Batman or something in their multiverse somehow, blah blah blah. It's all gonna,
Oh,
I
yes,
think,
you're
tie in.
right. Right, right. I saw something about Michael Keaton. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's see how that goes, when that's gonna release, and
You know what, guys, I won't lie. I was already thinking about Invincible because you've watched it,
oh
right,
man.
Moise? Moise, you've watched it and
Yeah, I
you've
did.
read the comics?
Yeah. I haven't read the
So,
comics.
oh, you
I've
haven't.
been
Okay.
trying not to read the comics
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
show
same.
is that good,
But
right?
you've
So,
watched the full season, right? You're caught
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Again, guys,
Hmm.
spoiler
Yeah.
alert, but
Spoiler alert, just stop here if you have not watched the
Invincible,
animated
Invincible.
series on Amazon Prime,
Invincible season
Invincible.
one. Season one, yes.
Yeah.
If you have not watched it, please stop here. But the whole thought of Darkseid taking over and freeing worlds by adding them to his kingdom, all I was thinking about was Viltrum. Like right away, Omni Man came in my head.
Oh man, that show
uh,
was sick.
it was
Yeah.
so good,
The
right? Right?
fighting in
Yeah.
that show, yeah, like the plot's like it's good. The plot's good, whatever, it's
Very
fine.
predictable.
Nothing like mind blowing. Yeah,
Very
predictable, but the
predictable. Yeah.
action
It was
is
really well
just
done.
like wow.
Yeah.
Moise, you told me about the show originally,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, and then Dawood told me after, and I was like, okay, let me check it out. And
Memes
like,
told me.
yeah,
I kept seeing the think Mark think meme. And then now the look what they need to do to mimic our like what they need to mimic our power. I'm like, yo,
Mimic.
I need to see this.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
I
yeah, I
finished
was
it
curious. It was just literally the last episode.
like 2.5 days. I finished it. All the memes are from the last episode, by the way. It's so funny. But I
Mm.
like, I finished it in like 2.5 days or 3 days at most. Like I was hooked. I was like, oh my God, it's only eight
So wait,
episodes. All right, keep going.
when you say it was predictable, did you guys know before the plot twist that that was gonna happen?
Yeah,
Really?
I was able to
That blew
predict
me
it.
Yeah.
away, man. I was just like,
No, I was
what?
able to predict
How
it,
would he?
Oh
and it's
yeah.
so
As
funny.
soon as he finished episode one,
You know,
I realized like his story is false. He's sent to
yeah,
conquer this planet.
because what did
Well,
he say?
okay.
He says something to, if I'm forgetting, he says something to Invincible. He's like, oh, I'm trying to show you, or what does he say? He's like, I'm not sure. There's a few keywords that he uses that are very, very obvious. So they like let you
Yeah, and his
know.
character.
And his character,
Yeah,
very
his
shady
whole
from the
his
beginning.
demeanor was very shady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when he's helping the
Um.
Guardians of the Globe, he's like, "Hi, I got it. It's okay. I'll help." And it's more like, "I'm here. It's so easy for me, but I don't want to inconvene you because I don't want to be in the spotlight," kind of thing, right? If that makes sense.
Okay, so I knew he was hiding something. I don't know what I
Yeah,
couldn't pinpoint, like
yeah,
because of how long he's been there. If he was sent to conquer it, I was just like, he would have done it by now, right? So
right.
considering how powerful
Yes.
he is, so that's what
And
was in my head. It's like I knew he was hiding something. I didn't know what it was, and then when he,
Um,
did the onslaught with the other crew, right? Why? Well, like why pick it now? Like it just that part was just totally confused
I think it was
the
his
crap out
son.
of
yes.
me.
I think it's his son that got him soft because one other thing that gave away
But
was when he goes to that alien planet with the different timeline, the different time shift. He says
mhm.
it's not your world to conquer. Why did he say that? Why did he say it's not your
Hmm.
world to conquer? He didn't say just say Earth is not for conquering. He just says it's not yours to conquer, which again implies
Okay,
that,
yeah.
Yeah,
right?
if
It's
you
for
look
him to
into it.
And that's
conquer.
like very early on.
Yeah.
Again, very what I'm saying is hinting a lot. But my theory on that is, without reading the comics and stuff, I haven't, by the way, Moise, is that I think it was his son that he was waiting until he was waiting because if you notice, he was really anxious about his powers.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
And
at the same time, I mean, before he even met, like, he comes to Earth, not like Goku who forgot everything. He
yeah,
comes
yeah,
to
yeah,
Earth
for that
fully
purpose,
with
yeah,
his intention of what he needs to be doing.
yeah,
He needs to lower their defenses.
yeah.
So he came, he fell in love, all of that.
And then
So
17
that
years,
part is
yeah,
like, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, so that part doesn't add up. You're right,
It
Moise,
doesn't add
right?
up, right?
Because I thought there was two theories I had. Either one, yeah, he's gonna conquer it, or two is he just wants all the spotlight. Like he's like a Homelander, maybe, basically, right?
Hmm.
Um, those are my two
mm,
theories. But it's that part is doesn't really add up to me too much. Like he could
Yeah,
have came here and conquered Earth
conquered it
like that in a
a long
day.
time ago. Like he had the time to go there and fall
start
in
a
love,
family,
start a family,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah,
but then the upon the powers becoming apparent in the son, that's when he chose to to start. Like so, 20 years, man.
yeah,
Like I don't know, maybe for him, like I don't know how
mm,
many other people, how long he's lived so far, but if this is only 20 years in the span of 500 years, he could have had multiple other kids before. Like what,
yeah,
yeah. No, that's a good point. Like,
what's
why
his
did he
motivation? Like
choose? Yeah, why did he
yeah,
choose
you know,
now to move?
yeah.
Mm,
So that's like plot convenience stuff, which yeah, that doesn't add up. But putting that aside, so putting the
mm,
plot aside, the animation, I think for me it was mainly just the the gore
mhm,
and
yeah,
like how they didn't hide how brutal these fights could be,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh
right?
man, that
Like when you
subway
have the
scene. That subway scene was
yeah,
oof,
oh man,
that was
yeah,
next
like
level.
I've never like seen something like that,
yeah,
Basically, in
right? It
animation,
was
yeah, like the fight between
yeah,
Omni
yeah,
Man and Invincible, that whole fight is just nothing was basically off the
yeah.
table for that. Everything
No,
was off.
correct,
the thing that
yeah.
got me was that show's version of the Flash getting killed.
Mm.
I thought
Oh,
that really like set the tone for me, man. Like,
the end of that first
yeah.
episode.
Well, like, the amount of like, okay, like
Punches the guy
the
was
amount of
rolling, right?
pain,
Yeah.
the amount of pain that this person was in, but he had to keep fighting to the point where his hands broke. Like
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like that's like
Yeah,
he has
man.
this much pain up here that he can't understand the pain here, right? Like,
It was good. That
but
fight,
yeah,
I'll
that
rewatch
fight
that
was the
fight.
best part. Yeah, I rewatched that
Here's
fight like 5 times.
here's my question to
I
you
wish they
guys.
dragged it on a bit longer. I wish that
Yeah, honestly, yeah,
that
yeah,
Agreed.
fight
it
was
was
I
too
agree.
easy. It was too easy for him, and
yeah.
that was my it was coming to my next question. So, we know Superman has a weakness.
Mhm.
We talk about the boys, and it seems to be that besides the emotional stuff, there has to be some physical weakness that Homelander has as well, which I feel that Vought knows, and they're keeping it as a very, very last resort. By the way, that's just a side theory for that show. Um, but in this case, Omni Man, I there has to be some weakness, man, because this guy, he cannot. I refuse to believe that he's just that powerful without a single weakness. There has to be something, and unfortunately, only he's gonna know that. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that in a later season, somehow Invincible goes and finds this Viltrum planet or talks to other people and it's like, hey, like what? How can I defeat these guys, right? Because I get the feeling that the father is either gonna go back and get shamed for not allowing Earth to conquer, or he's
Mm.
gonna bring more resources in, which I doubt it because he was crying before he left. So my
Yeah.
guess is that he's conflicted now, and either he's gonna have to die to save Earth, and then Earth is gonna get conquered or something. But like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think is next?
I'm not gonna get into the theories. I have no idea. I'll leave it to that time. Who knows when that show's gonna get released, season two.
No, they
Um,
gotta be working on it, man. They gotta be, because come on, don't say that.
I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. I mean, I'm not gonna get into the theories. I don't know. It could go so many different ways.
By the way, I did not like Amber. I found her very, very annoying.
Oh yeah, she
Wait,
was annoying.
who's Amber?
Like
His
her,
girlfriend.
his
Oh yeah,
girlfriend,
oh my
basically.
God, so
So
annoying.
unbearable, man. It's like, oh, I knew.
Yeah,
Okay, so then what are you giving him a hard time for? Like, what the hell?
yeah,
If you
Yeah.
knew, you'd
I
be
mean,
like, oh, you didn't trust me. It's like,
yeah.
are you for real, bro? Like,
Like he did it to keep her safe, but whatever. One thing that would just when you're doing this video editing, let's stop on the Invincible right now. Let's change topics. Just mention to the viewers the time that they can skip over, so that
yeah,
they
yeah,
don't get
we'll do
spoiled
that.
for
Yeah, we'll do
Invincible.
that.
I have a topic. I have a question for Moise. Something very deep. Um, Let me talk about ice cream for a bit.
let's do it.
What are some ice creams that you really, really enjoy?
Um, so man, that's that is a deep question. So okay, if we are categorizing the okay, let's categorize them first, right? There's
Or yeah, that's
um
what. There's no other way to
okay,
do it, actually.
right? Yeah, okay. So there's your soft serves, there's your
Okay.
hard scoops, there's
Okay.
your mixes, right? Mixes
Yes.
meaning you have your brownie pieces in there or something, or
Okay.
pecans or whatever, right? So those are the mixes, right? And this is just chocolate on its own, right? So each flavor has three subcategories, right?
Wow.
So for example, chocolate has soft serve, hard serve, and then what comes mixed with it.
Okay. You
Okay.
could. That's like then
So
you get too many different categories then.
okay. So among the other flavors, right? There's vanilla, then there's
Yeah.
strawberry and mango, whatever. Okay. So let's stick to the chocolate one, right? So within the
Okay.
chocolate sphere, I prefer the soft serves. Anytime I can go for a soft serve, I'll go for the soft serve. If the
Okay.
soft serve is not available, also depending on who's providing the soft serve, because there's some soft serves that are really garbage, and then
So let
there's
me ask you
other
top three, two, one favorite chocolate soft serve.
Rita's Ice Cream US.
I love Vitas. I
Okay.
love Vitas. By the way, just side note, one time when I was in Calgary, I we had a Ritas over there, right? They opened
Mhm.
up a Ritas. I won ice cream for a year from
What?
Ritas.
What?
Yes.
Oh my
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Okay. Not only that, so I had put two entries in, one for me, one for Isa. I won and she won.
what?
So
Ice cream
We
for a
both won
year?
free
Oh my God.
free ice cream for a year. So basically, they gave me a card with
Did
52
it tap
punches, and
me?
I had 52. I had 104 ice creams. I mean, I didn't. I eventually just like do with it, right? Like, I would just buy and I would take it into work.
Just give
Um,
it to people.
yeah.
But we're talking about like
That's
ice
right.
cream like in a cup, or we're talking about like what kind of ice cream were they giving you?
So, Rita's has this thing. They have like Italian ice, and then they have soft serve, and then you can
Okay.
get Italian ice with soft serve. And when
Mm.
you mix the two together, like a cherry with a vanilla, it's so good.
Oh my
Mm.
God.
Um,
Talking about
Wow.
the
you know what
gelato?
I'm talking about, right, Moise? Like the
The gelato, right?
gelato.
Gelato.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Wow.
okay, so coming back now. So, chocolate soft serve Rita's. If you
Okay.
had to go to the store and buy a
Mhm.
tub of ice cream, whether it be vanilla, chocolate, mango, whatever, which one are you buying?
It would be chocolate extravagance by compliments.
Oh, that's the ooey gooey one, right?
That's the
That's
one
the one
with,
you introduced me to.
yes, I believe that's the one I introduced you to. That's right.
I always remember that one. It's delicious.
That one, that's my go-to to go to a store. Like I have at night gone tried to get it from the only place that sells it is Freshco and Sobeys. Freshco
Hmm
is usually closed at 10, so I would drive to the 24/7 Sobeys and get a tub if I was craving it. Like that's how good it was, right? Like people, no, seriously, like okay.
Yeah.
So did you ever try Turkey Hill's Dust Chocolate, Dishan?
No.
Okay, so it's a U.S. thing. It's not made in Canada. One time, my sister and Fatima were coming back from the States, and I asked them to bring Turkey Hill Dust Chocolate. So they put them in a cooler, bunch of ice in it, stuff like 5 Turkey Hill Dust Chocolate ice creams to bring across the border for me.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Wow. And they get
Wow.
stopped or anything?
No.
What's it
So
called? Turkey Hills?
Turkey Hill's
Text
Dust
it to me
Chocolate.
after.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah,
you
text
yeah.
it to me
will.
after because
We can,
I have to
guys, we
try
can
this.
do a recommended ice cream that you must try in your life by Moise. We can do a list like that at the end, just like we,
Oh my gosh,
tested.
yes.
For
Yeah,
sure.
please
You
share us.
can send it in and we'll put it on.
Yeah, and you can categorize however you want. We'll put it at the end of the video. We won't limit you
Okay.
on how you want to present that.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I'd
What are
love
some
that
other
personally.
notable ones that come to the top of your mind?
So if you want soft serve and it's a late hour and you can't really go to Rita's or something, the off the cuff is Dairy Queen in the US. They always have their chocolate soft serves available. It's not the best, but it's better than your McDonald's, right?
Okay.
Um, if you, for some reason, the Canadian Dairy Queen does not carry chocolate ice cream. I don't know
Hmm,
why.
Okay.
They just don't.
interesting.
But the
What
US one
about
does.
Costco?
Costco.
Costco has a very good
Oh yes,
vanilla,
they
very
do. They
good
do.
chocolate. Like though
They
their
do.
soft serve is delicious.
Yes, they it is. But the thing is, because of the crowd that's always there all the time, it's not easy access to get there, right? So, with ice
Interesting.
cream, the less
Yeah.
hurdles, the better. So that's why they drop in the category range, right?
Right.
So,
Okay.
I think,
Sorry, I have a
seriously, you
question.
gotta.
Have you
Yeah.
guys tried the ice cream from Chocolate Favors? Or I don't know how you pronounce it,
Oh,
chocolate.
bro, that
You,
would bad. Yeah,
not
man. That
not
used to be
good?
right next to my house in Aurora. It's so good.
Oh yes. We talked about this. So
Chocolate Favori.
I was in
How's this?
Ottawa, and I found it there, and I
Hmm.
found it really interesting that because here they have it in Guelph, right? So I drove
Okay.
last summer, and
Yep.
like that's like high end for me for ice cream because otherwise I'm if I'm craving it, I won't lie to you guys, I go to McDonald's because like they got
McDonald's
the
is delicious too,
easiest.
bro. Don't feel bad about
Um,
that. It's good.
but
Yeah,
the
right.
but the chocolate favors, I don't, where would you have you tried it, Moise? Where would you put that? Or I guess Zishan, if he hasn't, where would you put
I'd
it?
have to see a picture. I'm not recalling it.
So, so Moise, go drive to Guelph. They have one in Vaughan as well, if you're ever in those two areas, or if you're
Yeah,
ever in
yeah,
Aurora,
yeah.
there's one over there. Chocolate Favori, delicious.
February, there you go.
What it
You
is,
pronounced that. Yeah, yeah.
chocolate Favori. Yeah,
Mhm.
they're a
French, I think.
chain now. Sorry, probably yeah from
I think they're
Montreal.
French. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're I think originally in Montreal. Now what they do is that you can get soft serve. It's soft serve ice cream, but it's not about the ice cream. The ice cream is mediocre. The soft serve. It's
It's
about the dip. on the cone. They have like 15 hot chocolates, like hazelnut, dark chocolate, white chocolate, cotton
Caramel.
candy, peanut caramel, yeah,
Like,
salted caramel, peanut butter, um, and other flavors. And then they have like usually every month they'll have like some two or three surprise flavors. And so they take the ice cream. You can get usually you get it in a cone, whatever size. Don't go too big, um,
uh,
because it just yeah, it's just better to get a smaller one. And then they dip it in the ice cream. It tastes delicious. What I started to do before I left is I would get the ice cream, chocolate Fabry, in a cup, right?
yeah.
So they give me that, and then in another cup, I tell them just pour the hot chocolate in the other cup, and because that chocolate tastes so good, right?
Oh
And
my
what you
God.
do is you kind of dip, like you take some and then you eat it, because what happens is, and this is where the physics or the chemistry comes in. When you take this cold ice cream and you dip it into the hot chocolate, it cools very quickly and it hardens. So
Yeah.
those first few bites of the chocolate are really great because it's
It's
still a little bit
crunchy, yeah.
soft.
Hmm.
But then it gets crunchy and you lose how great that hot chocolate is, that the
Really?
one that they dipped it in. So anyway, the other good thing about Chocolate Favori, you go there, you can buy all those chocolates that you can dip it in. You can buy them there, and you can buy them in a fondue format as well.
Hmm.
So we had
Like
actually
chocolate
brought some with
bars and
us, and we
stuff,
can.
yeah. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yes, it's very good quality chocolate.
It's
So, and Moise, you like chocolate, right?
Love chocolate.
so he's talking about
What are
chocolate
some of your
ice cream
favorites?
and categorizing it. So I
It's
think
like,
it's safe to say
What?
yes,
that he loves
Smartest,
chocolate.
you guys,
yes,
chocolate, chocolate. I've heard this.
Chocolate.
yes, yes.
I love that episode.
I
I
love
love
that.
those
It's
It's
my
my
episodes.
favorite
favorite too.
part.
It's my favorite episode too.
Oh man.
Oh my God, it's too good.
What
But you
what
know
are some
what?
of your Dawood, you, chocolate? What are some of your favorites?
Like I'm talking candy chocolate. Kit Kat and Mars.
Chocolate, chocolate.
Those are my top. Like you give me,
Mm,
and the funny thing is sometimes I like if you give me both, I would want both. I cannot decide between either or. But most of
good
like
answer.
growing up, Mars was like big, right? And now like and then Kit Kat kind of came up, so now they're both equal in my head. Like if my wife is asking if anybody's asking, hey, what do you want? I'm like, get Mars or Kit. Actually, get both. And most of the time, I ask for both.
Nice,
How about you
nice.
guys?
Moise?
Candy wise, shoot, I think I'd have to go with chocolate covered almonds. Um,
Ooh, those are good.
Those are
you
good.
know the
Those are
big
dangerous.
packs at Costco. Yeah, the
Yep,
big
Yeah,
those are
packs they
the
so
sell.
ones you
good.
can't, the
Those,
ones you should count and eat, not
yeah,
just keep a bag on you. Yeah, those are bad,
right.
man.
So like, my gosh,
How about
man,
you?
I would buy that and I would keep it on my desk at work. And I was
I
just
was
like,
just saying,
that was a problem for me.
and the Costco bags are not
Man, but
small. They're like this
They're
big, man.
huge.
that started when we were small, man. They used to make us sell the chocolate bars for like fundraising.
Yes.
Mm,
All right, like $3 for those chocolates. You get chocolate almonds or you get mint chocolate or blah blah blah. But since then, I've always loved those chocolate covered almonds.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Have
funny
you ever
story
had
about
the
that,
movie?
if you
Go
guys are
ahead.
interested.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So I was selling one, that's one of these days, or one of these times I was selling one egg, and it was in my neighborhood. So I go to one house, and then it's like an older person, right? So the first house I went to, the guy's like, "Okay, you go to the same school as my daughter, so yeah, I'm not gonna buy it from you. No, sorry." I'm like, "Okay, no problem." I go to someone else, the guy starts ripping me, man. He's like, "Oh, so the school got you buying chocolates and stuff. What do they need money for, huh? Don't I pay enough taxes? What do they need? Like pencils? Like, like notebooks?" I'm sorry, sir. I'm just trying to sell some chocolate." And he's like, tell whoever put you up to this that, like we pay enough money already and we're not gonna buy your
Oh
chocolates.
my
Bro, I felt so bad. I was in grade 9. I went back home after. I was
Um,
like, I don't want to sell these chocolates, man.
yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
man,
sorry.
that's a better experience.
It was bad. I'll never forget that. I'll be like, seriously, man, I just want like just say no. I don't want it. Like, why do you have to like?
Oh, he just berated you, man.
I know.
Oh man, Moise, what were you about to say?
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Um, shoot,
You
I
said,
was
have you ever tried
oh yeah,
something?
yeah. You know the Crunchy Bunch?
No, what is
You remember
that?
No,
Crunchy
man.
Bunch? Okay, so they only sell them at like movie theaters or like um movie stores. They used to be sold at Blockbuster Video back
Okay.
in the
Okay,
day, but now you only find these in the movie theaters. I don't know why, but
okay,
it's called Crunchy Bunch. So it's like a crunch. It's like your Crunch Bar, right? But
yep,
Okay.
it's like this popcorn style chocolate crunch things, right?
okay.
And those they're really good, but I don't know why it's not sold anywhere else
Wait,
except for
wait,
movie
wait. You
theaters.
mean like they're
I know what you're talking
bite-sized?
about.
You're saying they're
Hmm?
Yes,
bite-sized? Because
Little
you're,
yes, they're like
bite-sized things.
clusters.
you know what? I have
Yes.
seen the same thing for Kit Kat and Mars. Obviously, I'm gonna name those two at movie
Hmm.
Yeah,
theaters as well because the Kit Kat ones, I love those, but I'm not able to find them anywhere else. Only at Cineplex
yes.
movie theaters.
Yeah.
There's even like if you're talking about like those clusters,
Hmm.
there's like oh my God clusters at I don't know, probably a lot of
Yeah,
stores have them.
yeah.
They're also very very tasty.
Hmm.
Just quick call out to Arif who didn't know that in Cadbury fruit and nut it's raisins. So just wanted to quickly mention that on this video.
I mean, why are you mentioning it? He's probably not gonna see it, remember? So
I
we're
know,
gonna
but
have
that's why
to,
we had to call him out to see if he see. We had to
yeah,
call
let's
him out
see,
to see if
yeah.
he sees it,
Yeah, so guys,
right?
nobody mentioned it. I think in the previous one of the previous videos too, someone said, "Oh, Arif got a call," and he's asking me on the side. He's like, "Oh, what was that?" I'm like, "You know what? Sorry, I don't remember." And I genuinely don't remember, but I'm like, "Why don't you watch the video and you will know like what the call out was? Why are you asking me?" Sorry, go ahead.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah,
Crunch
yeah.
Bunch, man. You know what?
So,
All this
Yeah,
chocolate
this
talk,
is good.
guys. Now I want chocolate for every man. Thanks, Ishan.
oh
Thank
man,
you very
no
much.
problem. No problem.
I mean,
Chocolate
I
Fairy
brought
is
it
good.
up, but this whole chocolate conversation and ice cream conversation, oh man,
Yes. We'll have to have
wow.
another conversation just on food alone. So,
Yeah. Oh man.
anyway, I think we had a
Oh.
good conversation. Just
Yeah.
part one of many with
With yeah, with
Moise.
Hmm.
Mr. Flipper. What nickname should we give you? The house flipping guy or
I don't know.
all
I think
star
Income, Mr. Construction,
or
Mr. Ice Cream.
Mr.
I think there's only
Construction. Oh,
one
I
thing.
I
I
like
don't
that,
know.
Mr. Ice Cream. But Mr. Construction is
I
also
think
really good.
whenever I think of ice cream, I think of Moise. He's like my ice cream buddy.
I think of
You know, it's
every
funny.
time I think of Dairy Cream, I think of Wiz.
Yeah, to
That's
this
yeah.
day, even like all my friends from the States, like high school friends, right? They message me to this day whenever they see a picture of ice cream. They're like, "This reminded me of you," and it's like I haven't heard from them for three
Okay,
years, but they would send me a
Mr. Ice
message
Cream then.
about ice
Mr.
cream
Ice Cream it
because
is
like I'm
then.
notorious for it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, good stuff,
Okay, then
man.
Disha,
Good
we'll go
stuff.
with Mr. Ice Cream, right?
Mr. Ice Cream, it is,
Sure.
Mr. Ice Cream.
or
Oh
the
my
Ice Cream
God.
Man.
Ice
Yeah,
Cream.
Ice Cream
ice
Man.
cream.
Oh my God. No, honestly, it's so funny. I was the other day, I was thinking about Dairy Cream and I was like, you know what, let's do that. Like I'll message Moise, like, yo, are you free? Let's go because I don't know, like when was the last time we had? Because every time we talked about doing something, I would always wait for Moise to say it. He'd be like, can we do Dairy Cream?
I brought it up. I brought it up. It's
He
a
did bring
Dyson
it up. He
thing.
messaged in the other group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's always
Like,
he's like, can we please can we please do Dairy Cream? And I'm just like, oh man,
yeah, man.
you
Dairy
yeah.
know,
Cream is good. They have some good funnel cakes.
Yeah. Any I
So,
mean,
it's been a
any
while, man.
questions about ice cream or construction, engineering, anything that you need, free to give me a call. I'm always here to give a helping hand.
sounds good.
Yeah, no, honestly,
All
thank
right, man.
you. Really appreciate your time, bro. Jazakallah
Yeah.
khair. And yeah, many
No,
more conversations. And we're again, I know, we'd been meaning to chat with you for a while. Really appreciate the time. And yeah, inshallah, we can continue our conversations with so many other topics, right? Like
yeah.
we have, like Moi's got an arsenal of topics himself too. So inshallah, we'll do another one. And
Yeah.
yeah, man. Any other closing thoughts, Zishan?
No, that's good from my end.
Anything from you, Moise? We're good.
Nope. Just salams everybody. If I haven't chatted with you in a while, should chat soon.
Yeah, do try to come by, on the next one, inshallah. Even if it's for a bit,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I'm sure, like as
The
things are
last
opening up.
time, the
Yeah,
last
go ahead.
time it was because of my car. So like you know the Mazda that I drive, right?
Hmm.
The Mazda 6. So for some reason, it has a battery drainage problem, and I have two separate batteries that I keep having to alternate every year. And I have a
Hmm.
smart pack booster, which
Oh,
I
okay.
plug it in for like 24 hours, and it recharges the battery, and I just swap it out, and then it's good
Yeah.
for the rest of the year. So I had Fatma had the car. She was at her parents' house. So I planned on coming that night, but
Oh,
for
okay.
the renovations that were happening, I had the extension cord plugged into that unit, and somebody unplugged it and left it unplugged. And I thought that the
Yeah.
battery would be charged, and so when I went to go check the charge or the voltage on it, I was like, "What the heck?" And I go right back and check, and the thing
Oh
is unplugged, and
man.
I'm just like, "Oh no!"
Shoot.
No,
That's
it's okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that
no,
kind
it's
of
unfortunate. Inshallah, honestly, as people are getting second doses and as things are now being restricted, like more relaxed, inshallah, we'll meet up again and come by. And I think Zishan said you might drop by too, right, Zishan? I'm trying to leave a little Easter egg teaser here to see how many people actually watch and come to it, right? Like, oh, Zishan's coming, you know. But hopefully, inshallah, I hope you have plans to visit. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Appreciate the time, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Assalamu
All right.
alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.